I mean, I read it in a day. Oh, so, and I did not think this book would be as good as it is. This book, cried my eyes out at certain points in this book. The next book.
And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Hello guys, and welcome to or welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you don't know me, my name is Chloe and I'm a second year law student, and I upload videos every Sunday at 6 p.m. So if you're interested in the law or anything like that, please stay tuned because I have some amazing books to show you that aren't specifically educational but are definitely must reads if you do study law or you have an interest in studying law. So the first book is written by David Boyle, who is an established barrister, and it is the mini-pupillage handbook. This gives you so much advice on how to get a mini-pupillage applications, how they can help you, and it's not so much a book to read, but there's so many little things that you can fill out in pencil or in pen, which you can constantly keep referring back to while you're applying to or while you are on a mini-pupillage. I absolutely love this book. This has helped me with so many applications and it's just a must-have for any law student. So if you want to get your hands on this, all the links will be in the description for every single book mentioned, and honestly it's such a good workbook. This will help anyone, whether you want to be a solicitor, barrister, anything like that. I just suggest getting it. This will help with your applications, your CV, and it really tells you what law firms or barristers chambers want. The next book isn't about law specifically, but it is definitely a book that taught me a lot about hard work, dedication, and that is This Is Going to Hurt by Adam Kay. This book had me in tears. This is such a good read. It's about hard work, dedication, and sometimes realizing that the career that you're seeing yourself going into may not be the career that you want. So I definitely recommend this, not just to law students but to any students. It is such an interesting read and it'll have you in tears. Also, this isn't something that you need to read like in one day or in a week. I mean, I read it in a day, but that's just me. This is something that you can keep going back to because it's diary entries, so it's like a new story or a new piece of information every diary entry, or a new client every diary entry. Patient, that's what I meant. So a new patient every diary entry, so it's really easy to just read on the train in the morning or read 10 minutes before bed every night. I would thoroughly recommend this book. Adam Kay is also going on tour soon to discuss this book, so if you are interested in that, I will also include in the description a link to this book tour and how you can get tickets to that. The next book, here we go. This book is such a different perspective on the law because it is written by a judge, Mr. Harry Ognall. This is literally just a small book. It's really interesting. It's about his life and how he came to be a judge, and this just gives you a different type of insight into the whole legal system. There's a lot of books written by solicitors, barristers, and people within the legal system, even clerks, but this just gives you a bit of a different perspective from a high court judge. It's super short, it's super easy to read, and it'll go perfectly alongside your studies and will also give you a bit of inspiration because we always need that. You know what it's gonna be. I actually have a slight obsession with this author. It is The Secret Barrister. If you've watched my videos before, you know that I do have a slight obsession with The Secret Barrister. I'm desperate to find out who they are, and I'm literally just obsessed. There's no need for it whatsoever. but this book is a law student must. Like, you have to read it. Every single law student has read this, and if you haven't, you are severely lacking in the books department. I read this the summer, like before I went to university, and oh my god, my mind was blown. If you are looking for something to get you pumped up about your studies, this book will be it, and this book will make you want to be a criminal barrister. Not only that, this book points out a million different faults with the criminal justice system, so it's always best to go into university or into your potential career goals with your eyes open and being able to understand that even though we do have a really good justice system in the UK, there really is some areas where we're lacking and failing, and this book just highlights it all for you. It's literally written out in facts. It will have you sobbing. I cried my eyes out at certain points in this book, and also it is so witty. If you don't know who the Secret Barrister is, they are a blogger who then wrote a book, and you can go online and read their blog. I'll include the link in the description, and they just are the wittiest, most brilliant writer, and my goal in life is to meet them face to face one day, fingers crossed. But this is literally my top 10 favourite books in the world. I am obsessed with it. Leading on from that, to just stifle my obsession a bit more, we have another book by the Secret Barrister, which is Fake Law. This is their new book. So whilst the last book kind of focused on their life at the bar and their career and how they got there and all the different cases that they've done and everything like that, this book focuses a bit more on the law, which I love. It focuses on how the newspapers kind of say one thing's happening and it's really just not. It literally calls out the whole media in the UK, and I'm living for that. There's so many misconceptions about law, and there's always a new headline about how this has happened or this has happened, and honestly hardly any of it is true. This is the ideal book for anyone who is planning on going to university, who's read bits about the law in newspapers. This just literally picks apart fact from fiction and is all about fake law. The next book that I have to tell you guys about is The Prison Doctor, and this is by Dr. Amanda Brown. Honestly, I loved this book. It was amazing. I've only read it the once, but Dr. Amanda Brown gives you such an insight into the prison system within the UK. So she was actually a doctor at a young men's prison, and it's kind of like light-hearted at some points, but then at other points it's really like upsetting. So if you're faint-hearted or you get upset easily like me, then just go in with your eyes open. It is really sad to see how the prisons are in the UK and how some prisoners are treated, but definitely a must read if you are interested in the criminal side of law, and yeah, I'd recommend. The next book that I have for you guys is this book. This book came out over summer, and I've seen a few people reading it who were the year above me and studying law also, and I did not think this book would be as good as it is. I read it in one night. Honestly, like, that is hand on heart the truth. I read this in one night because I physically could not put it down. I was up till like 4 o'clock in the morning reading this because it's amazing. It is a crime fiction, not non-fiction. All the rest are non-fiction. This is fiction, and it is just gripping. If you've ever read like The Girl on the Train or any book like that, read this book. It is called Blood Orange. So yeah, it's about a woman who is a criminal barrister, love that, and has just been given her first murder case. I can't give any more away than what I've just given you, because I'll be spilling the beans on the whole storyline. But all I can say is get your hands on a copy of this. Best book, best fictional book I have probably ever read, because it's to do with law a bit, not really, but it's just honestly such a fun read. So highly recommend. Definitely get your hands on it. If you're gonna get any of the books that I've just mentioned, get this one. You'll love it, honestly, even if you're not interested in law. That concludes the physical copies of books that I have. At the moment, there's a couple of books that I actually don't have because I've borrowed them to people or I've just given them away and things like that. The first book that I actually don't have a physical copy of is In Your Defense by Sarah Langford. This kind of follows a similar method to The Secret Barrister. It is about Sarah Langford, who is a barrister, a criminal barrister, and she discusses her cases and different things that have happened. It doesn't call out the justice system as much, but it's amazing to see like the day-to-day life of a barrister and what they have to deal with on a daily basis. Sarah Langford's also amazing, so 100% recommend this book. It was a super easy read. I read it in like 3-4 days, but 100% must read for anyone wanting to be a law student. The next one that I don't have is Under the Wig by William Clegg, who is a Queen's Counsel or a Silk, which means that he is taken Silk. He is a higher barrister, he gets to choose his cases and he gets to do more complex cases. This gives you an insight to the bar from a Silk's perspective, someone who does more complex cases, and also he worked with Keir Starmer on a case too, so I would definitely recommend getting your hands on this if you're more interested into career progression at the bar and a bit more into what Queen's Counsel or Silks do. It's a really good book, and again, super easy read, not thick and heavy, and you can't put it down, honestly. So that is every book that I have read this year or last year and is a must read for law students. If there are any books that I have not mentioned, please do write them down in the comments below, because I will get my hands on them and let you know once I've read them, because I'm always looking for some new books that are must reads for law students to open my eyes into the criminal justice system and into different parts of the legal system. I think we are lacking mainly books from solicitors and books to do with civil law, like all books written by like criminal side of things. I'd love to see like someone talking about some negligence or something and their, you know, tort cases. But for now, that is everything from me. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment and subscribe, and also follow me over on Instagram if you want to see what I have been getting up to lately. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next Sunday at 6 PM. Bye.